guys can see, today is the next day. I was going to wrap it, but Rich is here now, so I will have to postpone this for tomorrow or another day thing. But I am wrapping my V-bar in the front, red, so there's like a red accent in there. Rich is here, so we're gonna actually do the other thing that I wanted to do. I'll put this to the side, but we are actually going to do something else. Let me show you. A little surprise. I don't know if you guys can tell what it is. It's a new hood. It just got painted, so I was gonna toss it on. So that's what we are gonna do. We are gonna put the new hood on. This is the GTS Aluminum Hood. Picked it up today. Shout out to Kevin. He came in clutch with it. But we are going to install that right now. I'm gonna show you guys what we're doing. Just a little time lapse of it. Alright, so first things first, we are going to take out the trims on the sides and the pins, and then we will take out the bolts. I believe the bolt is 13. But time lapse, start now.
20 other spots according. When we let it slide, it's recording. We ain't gonna die too boring. Shoulder strong, I'm ballin'. Everybody got stories in their clips, for the way they handling their chips. Caught up in the web, getting clicks. See the body count going tick, tick, tick. Popped up on my papa, got you preaching, you go hard. Opt out of your privilege, but you got 22 cars. Pop up with the pedestal, no, none of this was your fault. It was never your call, depending on who you ask, yeah.
That is the hood we're replacing. We gotta still take off the latches and the little bumper then we're putting that onto that. Alright, we are having some trouble with this hood right now. I will be back. Today is the next day. Yesterday, I didn't like how the hood was fitting on the car, but honestly, that's what you get for aftermarket parts, right? I would say the fitment is all right. It's not the best, but it's also not shit. Like yesterday it was very fat. The gaps were very fat and inconsistent. But today is a lot better because last night I was working on it a lot. My camera died, so I couldn't show you guys that. As you guys can see, the hood is on. Let me show you guys real quick. This is how the gap ended up being like. It's not bad. It's consistent. Consistent gaps. It looks good. Complaints I really have about it, like nitpicking, I've been looking at like the corners. This side isn't that bad. You guys can kind of see a little inconsistent gap up here. I noticed that this gap right here is a little bit off because the hood is a little bit taller than the fender. I've been trying to mess with it a lot. Over here as well, the hood is lowered. This side is a little bit higher. I might have to still adjust some stuff, but this side looks decent until you get to the rear. In the back of it, it gets wider, and also there's a little bump. This is taller than the fender. Overall, everything looks good. It looks really good. I'm so happy with it. I have not put the vent yet because I bought some mesh. This is just regular screening mesh, and I also bought some paint and some weather strip tape for the vent, because the vent is open, right? Honestly, like, I like how it's open, but I don't want my engine bay to be super filthy or very dirty or wet. That's why I went towards the screen mesh. I'm gonna lay it down over here, and I'm also gonna put the weather stripping on the edges of this. So it's not bad, it looks good. I'm gonna do that. The hood is complete from yesterday, so we don't really have to worry about this. The only thing we're doing today is painting that, wrapping the V-bar in the front red, and also changing my mirror caps. But first things first, I bought this tool. Bought this tool because I dropped one of those rubber plugs that was on the hood. It fell into the fender. So I'm gonna try to use this to take it out. I also want to explain to you guys what I did to make it fit. So basically, those, I had to move it to the left, that way. Adjust these two bolts and those two bolts and kind of align it. The main part of this was getting the corners of the hood and the fender to kind of like match as close as possible, so you have like a smooth line. You know how like the hood curves? It curves. So basically, that curve has to be consistent from the fender and the hood. So it goes perfect. So that's what I did to adjust, what this adjustment was mainly for. The second thing was moving the fenders in. I believe this side was like very little. I didn't really have to move a lot on this side. That side, I had to move in a little bit. The front bumper, I took off these clips. So these bolts down here for the M2 or T30s, basically, I loosened this bolt, and this bolt, pushed it in, and then I tightened it. I loosened these three bolts, pushed it in, tightened it. I also had to adjust the latch a few times so it bites closer. Like it was kind of raised up, so I had to adjust that. I also adjusted this latch to move forward so it closes the gap from the bumper and the hood. So that gap was closed. That's basically it. So that fender on the left side, passenger side, moved in. Driver side stayed basically the same. It just slightly moved inwards. The hood had to line the corners first, and then I tightened it and moved the arms. That arm is moved outwards. This arm is moved outwards as well, actually, yeah. So basically those two arms moved out. Bumpers, scooted it up. Latches moved forward. These were adjusted till there was not that much gap. So I think it looks pretty good how it is right now. Nice, nice. We got the plug. Yes. Shouldn't be too long. Hopefully it doesn't take that long. About whatever paint was gloss black. So I'll open this. We don't need a lot. To be honest, we don't need a lot of this screen. We just need enough where we can just cover enough of the area. Got it unraveled. Figure out how much I need. Probably gonna just grab some scissors and cut about this much. And then basically you can still trim everything, but I'm gonna start off with this. Dope, so I got the mesh cut out. Looks good. This is just a little bit more of a extra I'm gonna spray it all black, put it on first, and then cut it out. Or I might cut it out a little bit smaller and then glue it on. Let's get it. I can't breathe. Okay, so that was the third one or second one. I'm going to let it sit for a bit, and then I'm gonna do it again, and then I'm gonna flip it over and do it again. So while we wait for the paint to dry, I'm gonna do the second thing, and it is side mirrors. Put on the side mirrors. Again, this is from I&D. It replaced the whole housing, so everything has to come off. I do have the OEM. The previous owner put these on, I believe. These are the old side mirrors caps. Here is the old housing. So these are the two pieces, OEM. This one's where the mirror goes. So you put it in this way, and this one connects over here. It looks something like this. And the light comes from at the bottom right here. But first things first, you need a pry tool. We gotta move the top of the mirror up and then have it kind of protrude out from the bottom. And then we're gonna grab a pry tool and pop it out. We're gonna change these mirror caps to carbon fiber and also put our sequential lights in. Again, you do need to do this when it is relatively warm. When it's cold, you can potentially crack your side mirrors. So we don't want that. Yeah, so basically grab your pry tool, you stick it all the way to the back, put some pressure all over the glass, as you guys can see, and then pry up till you hear one of the clips release. There we go. Got the mirror out. And put this aside. Yeah, so basically you're putting the pry tool under and then unclipping it from the bottom, and then basically you put your 2 fingers in the back and you pull it out. So that is out. Things we need to do is unclip these. Let me show you real quick. There's this clip right here. 1, 2, and 3. 3 clips to hold this part in. So I'm gonna grab a needle nose and pinch it out. There we go. Here's the light that we are replacing too. I'll show you guys all the parts we are replacing after I take all this off. Alright, so T10. Put it on a little extension. I'm gonna take these off real quick. This screw off. So there's one. There's only one on the outside, and in the inside there are 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. There's 5 of them. Right, here's the last one. We'll just release the clips real quick. Alright, so now we got the bolt, the T10 from the middle, and the 2 clips out. Now we're gonna take this out. Here is that T10 in the middle. I'm gonna set it up here so I don't forget it. And then there's a connector at the bottom we can disconnect. Remember your positive and negative. These 2 were going that. Alright, here's the module. Came out. This should slide off now. There's a housing. This part is out. Turn signal lights are very easy to take out. They're not bolted down at all. You just slide it out. Remove this bottom part. Doesn't seem like it's connected with anything. And then disconnect my turn signals. I just lifted this part up. Here's the new one. Carbon looks really good. We are going to be replacing turn signals to sequential lights. Again, this is a pretty quick install. Basically, you plug this back in and then the reverse way of taking off your side mirrors. So I'm gonna do this real quick. Here's a time lapse. Alright, we are done. Carbon side mirrors with the sequential lights smoked. It looks so good. There's that left side. And here's the driver's side. It looks really, really good. A lot better. The other one was paint match, but for me, I prefer this carbon just because it gives it a little bit more contrast and it matches every other carbon piece. Gives it a little pop in the white, you know. Again, this car color theme is white, black, and red. Kind of basic, but for now, that is the color scheme we are going with. That is it for the install on the side mirrors. It took 30 minutes to an hour. We were doing that while we were waiting on our paint. So now we're gonna go check on our paint and see how that's going. The second to last, because we still got to put the mesh on the vent piece. But the last thing I gotta really do today is wrap the V-bar in the front. You gotta take off the clips up here and then push it back. We did it. Hooray. These are not easy to take out. Literally felt like I was cutting myself. I'm gonna take a break. Pretty clean. Now, I'm gonna get a light first and then I'm gonna measure it out, figure out how much I need to cut, and then wrap it. 3 by 13. I'm gonna go cut it right now. So what I'm using to wrap this car is the Vivid Plus. This is, I believe, candy red. Again, I will drop everything in the description. Candy red. Looks really good. Everything's cleaned up, everything's good. Start with this side first, and then, yeah, and we'll work our way over. Red looks really good. I'm so happy with it. I'm actually gonna put one more on top, like right in the middle, because I cut out these squares from it. So I was just gonna use it. That is it. We are done. It's really good. There are some imperfections, but I mean, either way, this is gonna be getting beat up, and I can always just rewrap it too. Hopefully not. Alright, so we're back in the garage. Or I know exactly where I want to cut. Cutting everything under. So probably stopping where the paint is. Should be right about enough. This actually dried really fast, so yeah, perfect. Basically it'll look like something like this. Alright, so the last thing I gotta do today is put the mesh on the vent for the hood. So this is the vent for the hood. First off, we have weather strip for the edges. Glue it first, see if glue works. Hopefully it works. Basically it says, okay, so we need to find something that's heavy enough to hold this down. It doesn't work. I think this is the wrong vent. Like the vent doesn't even fit in there. There's not enough clips either. It just doesn't want to go in. As much as you try to put it in, it doesn't. These clips right here is what needs to bite, but these don't even reach up there. And I scratched my paint. So yeah, I'm gonna leave it here. On to the next. I'll let you guys know what happens. Alright, my mic is dying, but it doesn't even matter because this is a time lapse anyway. We bought more sand, bought some more sanding paper, bought this kit. Hopefully this works. It has a lot of the sanding shit. Let's do this again. Hopefully everything's good. So basically I found this random plastic piece. I kind of sanded too much. I dremeled too much. So now the bottom isn't really biting. The top clicked in, not all of them, but hopefully this kind of fixes everything. This is my solution to the problem. That is it. It is straight. I peeled off and sanded like the edge of this. Let me show you guys what we are working with now. It is somewhat working. All these clips, like there's this clip right here. And then there's this one that's decent. These aren't really clipped. This one and the edges. Most of the time, it's just the edge. Well, that was the problem, is that the ends of this vent didn't clip in. Got it to clip, but this piece is for down here because I kind of did too much. So now some of the clips aren't clipping in. Here's my solution to it. Basically, this is supposed to push against this and like hold it in place. The moment of truth. All right, it fits. It's perfect. Again, this super sad it's not like perfect how I wanted it, but you know, we gotta do what we gotta do. I always wanted to pop my hood up, so maybe I'll figure something to cover this while I have the hood up. But yeah, that's about it. Success. Next clip or new video, I don't know, but we are done with this. We're gonna go get a car wash, well needed one.